let's get to this. So here you go. We're going to do it in order. So the 2 stays outside. Inside, I'm going to do the exponents. 4 to the second power. It's not 4 times 4. It's 4. Sorry, it's not 4 times 2. It's 4 times 4, right? So I'm going to leave that 16 divided by 4 plus 3. And I'm going to take care of this exponent, which is 3 squared, which is 3 times 3, which is 9, minus 4 times 2. Yes, you can do more than one at a time, but I'm just, taking time here so that you guys can see specifically what you should do first. Now, inside this parentheses, I will do division, because division comes before addition. So it's 16 divided by 4 is 4. And then that plus 3, if you wanted to, you could have done plus 3 and just write 7. That's okay. 9 minus 4 times 2 is 8. So we're going to leave it like this, to the second power. Again, this 2, remember, there's a dot there. It's invisible, but you're multiplying the 2 times whatever's inside here. And 2 plus 4 plus 3 is 7. So you got to multiply 2 and 7. Plus, and here, 9 minus 8 is 1, right? And 1 to the second power is just 1. So I'm just going to write a 1. 2 times 7 is 14. Plus 1. Final answer, 15. M squared is 7 to the second power times y, which is 5, minus 3 times a, which is 4, times m, which is 7. Order of operations, and I saw a few of you subtracting first. You should not. You should have to take care of the exponents and then multiplication. So 7 times 7 is 49 times 5, and then we're going to subtract this by the product of 3 times 4 times 7. So I'm going to take care of these two. And then these two, and then we're going to subtract. So 49 times 5. 5 times 9 is 45, goes 4. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 4, 245. So 49 times 5 is 245. Minus 3 times 4 is 12. 12 times 7 is 84. Okay. And now it's just a subtraction problem. So 245 minus 84 is 1. Borrow 14 minus 8, 61. Okay. 161, sorry. All right, so again, we have an expression, 2 is 2, right? Less than means subtraction. Quotient means a division, so I'll put a division bar here. And a number cubed, anything that's cubed is to the third power. So it's a number cubed or to the third power. It's another way of saying to the third power is saying cube. So we got a number to the third power divided by 3. But we're not done because less than, we're going to turn around, right? So we're going to write n to the third over 3 minus 2. So that should have been your final answer. Now we're going to evaluate this. We're going to substitute the n with 3 and see what we get. So instead of n, I'm going to write 3 to the third power over 3 minus 2. 3 to the third power is 3. 3 times 3 times 3, right? So 3 to the third power is 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27, and 27 over 3 minus 2. Right? One step at a time. And this is the same thing as saying 27 divided by 3, and 27 divided by 3 is 9, minus 2 equals 7. This one, 9 over 16, and you know what? I can do this. I don't know why I'm so constrained with space. Let me just open it up a little bit. Okay, so 9 over 16 divided by 2.5. You can have choice, change everything to fraction or everything to a decimal. I like fractions in this case. Well, that's 9 over 16 divided by 2.5. That's going to be over 10 and 25 on top, right? I change that to a fraction. I don't need to find common denominators, but I'm going to change this to a multiplication problem, 10 over 25. Is there anything I can simplify? Yes, there is. The 10 and 25, right? I can divide these two by 5. 10 divided by 5 is 2. 25 divided by 5 is 5. Anything else I can simplify? 2 and 5, no. 2 and 16 I can simplify. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 16 divided by 2 is 8. Now I think I'm done. 9 times 1 is 9. 8 times 5 is 40. And you can take a look that it's already simplified. Let's open this up a little bit more. Again, we have a problem here that's subtraction, so we have to subtract first and then divide. So let's take care of this. So I'm going to change this to an improper. 4 times 4, right? Times like that. 4 times 4 is 16. 17 over 4. minus 5 times 1 is 5, plus 7 is 12 over 5. All that divided by 0.3. And you know what I'm going to do with 0.3? I'm going to change that to a fraction. It's 3 over 10. Find the LCM. It's 20, right? So some of you are still just writing the numerator. You're writing 17 over here. You can't do that. Remember, the 4 changed to a 20. You multiply the 4 times 5, so we have to multiply the top times 5. 17 times 5 is 85. 5 times 4 is 20. And then times 4 over here has to be 48. All that we're going to be divided by 3 over 10. So now, this one we can subtract. 85 minus 48. This is going to be a little boring. 15 minus 8 is 7. 7 minus 4 is 3. So this is going to be 37 over 20. Now we can divide. We can divide by 3/10, right? Divided by 3 over 10. I'm going to change this problem. The division is going to, and we're going to multiply this by the reciprocal, and the 10 is going to go in the numerator and 3 down. Anything I can simplify? Yes, I can. 10 and 20, I can divide both numbers by 10. What's 10 divided by 10? 1. 20 divided by 10, 2. Is there anything else I can simplify? 37 was 2, no. 37, 3, no. So 37 times 1 is 37, and at the bottom, 2 times 3 is 6. Final answer, 6. Well, I change this to a mixed number. 36 goes to 37 6 times. 1 over 6, 1 left over 6. Okay. Bottom, a rectangle. So again, like this one, it's nice if you can. Actually, let me just. Let me bring this up. I can draw a rectangle, right? So we want to find the perimeter of the rectangle. So here's a rectangle. And the length is m plus 2. This is m plus 2. Which means this side is also m plus 2. The width is 2m plus 5, and this is 2m plus 5. Now we're going to add all these, right? We call combine like terms. So we can write it out. 2m plus 5 plus 2m plus 5 plus m plus 2 plus m plus 2. So I'm going to change colors here. So in red, I'm going to circle all. It says 2m plus 2m. Don't forget the sign that precedes it. Plus m and plus m. So if I put these like terms next to each other, again, 2m plus 2m plus m plus m. And change colors. Blue, it's plus 5 plus 5 plus 2, and I forgot a plus 2 over here, right? I forgot one. Right, I forgot one, so my apologies. So I'm going to get 5 plus 5 plus 2 plus 2. So now we can combine like terms, right? 2m plus 2m is 4m, plus another m is 5m, plus another m is m. Remember, there's a 1 here, right? So 2m, 4m, 5m. So I get 6m here. Plus 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 2 is 12, plus 2 is 14. Here's my final answer. Okay. Okay, order of operations again. So if you want to do this, you can. Parentheses exponent, multiplication or division, whichever comes first from left to right. Addition or subtraction, whichever one comes left to right, first left to right. So is there parentheses? No. There's an exponent? Yes. So we have to take care of the exponent. 45 divided by 3 to the second power is 9. 3 times 3 is 9. Times 2 minus 5. So this is check, this is check. No more exponents. Is there multiplication or division? Yes, there is. There's one here, and there's one here. What do you do first? You do the first one. If you do the one that comes first from left to right. So you're reading, right? As you're going this way, this direction, division comes first. So you take care of these two first. 45 divided by 9 is 5. And then times 2 minus 4. Now we take care of multiplication, right? 10 times 2 is 10 minus 4. So after all the multiplication or division are gone, you will then do addition or subtraction. And your final answer is 6. Over here, 88 minus 3. And we have a parenthesis. So inside the parentheses, who are we going to do first? Well, the exponent. 54 divided by 6, I'm going to keep, minus 1 to the third power. And 1 to the third power is 1 times 1 times 1, and just 1. Still inside my parentheses, 8 minus 3. And don't forget there's a times here, right? So What do we do first? Division or subtraction? It's division, right? Because again, we're here. Addition or subtraction is the last thing you always do. 54 divided by 6 is 9 minus 1. 88 minus 3 times, what's 9 minus 1? 8. Like now we have a subtraction or multiplication. Again, look, we're still here, right? We're still here. We're in the mode. So we can't do any addition or subtraction until we finish this. So 88 stays, the minus stays, and what's 3 times 8? 24. Now I can do the subtraction, and 88 minus 24 is 64. Final answer, 64. Let's do this one first here. So I want to change this. Okay, I change that to an improper fraction. 9 times 1 is 10, plus 7 is 17 over 9, right? Times and plus 0.8, and 0.8 is the 8's in the 10th place, but that goes here, so 8 goes on top. The same thing as 8 over 10. I can add these right now, right? But not before I make a little change. The LCM between 9 and 10 is 90, right? If you look at their times table, 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, what am I doing here? 81, 90, 99, and so forth. The 10s, 10 times 1 is 10, 20, 30, blah, 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 70, 80, 90. Look. So they share the 90s. So how did the 9 become 90 times 10? So therefore the top is times 10. 17 times 10 is 170. How did the 10 become a 9? 90. It's times 9. So I'm going to do the tops times 9. 8 times 9 is 72. Now we can add, right? So we get 90 at the bottom and 170. So 72. 2, 4, 2. So it's 242 over 90. Change that to a mixed number. So I'm going to do this way. 242. How many times can 90 go into 272? Can 90 go into 2? No. Can it go into 24? No. Can it go into 242? Yes. 3 times? No. 2 times. 2 times 90? 180. Subtract 2, borrow 14 minus 8, 62. Right, that's the leftover. So we're going to stop here. 90 goes into 242 2 times. How many left over? ¿Cuánto sobró? 62 over 90. We can simplify that. We can divide 62 and 90. 62 divided by 2 is 31, and 90 divided by 2 is 45. So this is like the really, really simplified answer. Okay. Change to an equivalent decimal. Okay, so now we're dividing. Get some room here. So numerator goes inside, so we're going to have 44 divided by 12. 12 going to 44, 3 times, which is 36. 44 minus 36, borrow, blah, blah, blah. 14 minus 6 is 8. We're going to continue, and before we continue, we can add a decimal here, a 0 decimal, and bring that 0 down. 12 goes into 80 7 times, no, 6 times. 6 times 7, 12 is 72. And 10 we're going to borrow 7. 10 minus 2 is 8. And becomes 80 again. So 12 goes to 80 6 times again. And 72. Subtract, you're going to have 8 left over. So if you continue, you're going to get 3, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, dot, 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 forever and ever. Or as a decimal, it's going to be 3.6. Is the bar notation on top. Okay. 7 divided by 18. 0. 7. 18 does not go into 70. 18 goes into 74 3 times. 3 times 18 is 54. 6, 10. 10 minus 4 is 6. 6 minus 5 is 1. Let's add a 0. Bring it down. 18 goes into 160. I have no idea. 7, 8. 64. 18 times 8. Don't guess. 64, 6, 144 plus 18. 2, 162. So 8 times seems to be the answer. 8 times 8, 64. Carry 6. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 6, 14. Subtract. Borrow. 10 minus 4 is 6. 5 minus 1 is 5 minus 4 is 1. Uh-oh. We bring the 0 again. Guess it becomes 60 again. So guess what? 18 goes into 8. 168 times. 144. You got 16 left over. If you bring another 0 down, it's going to be the same thing. 3888888. Point. So how do we change this to our final answer? It's going to be 0.3. And what's repeating? Only the 8. Okay. So let's substitute. K is 3, h is 4, m is 6, times, minus h to the second power, which is 4 to the second power, plus 2 times 6. Okay, so what do we do first? Again, if you want to write this out, it's parentheses, right? Any type of grouping, so no, but we're going to do exponents, so this is second. So 3 times 4 times 6 minus 4 to the second power is 4 times 4, which is 16, plus 2 times 6. Now I'm going to take care of this and this. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 times 6 is 72. Minus 16 plus, and 2 times 6 is 12. Now all my multiplication and division are gone, so now all I have is addition, subtraction. Which one will you do first? Subtraction. Why? Because it came first. From left to right, as you're going this way, it came first. So 72 minus 16. Borrow. You get 56. So it's 56 plus 12, and that's easy to do. Final answer, 68. 5 times h, which is 4, plus 2 times m, which is 6 to the second power, plus m again, which is 6. Again, parentheses, no. Exponents, yes. So let's take care of that. 5 times 4, plus 2 times, and 6 to the second power is 36, plus 6. All my exponents are gone. Do I have multiplication or division? Yes, I do have multiplication. So I'm going to do this and this right now. 5 and 4 is 20. Plus 2 times 36 is 72. And then plus 6. Now I have plus, so this is really easy, right? 20 plus 72, 92. Plus 6, 98. Okay, oops. Oh, what? Yeah, no. Okay, seriously? Wasn't there an M here? Uh-oh. I believe there was an M here. I'll put it there, I think. Bummer. Okay, so let's substitute. Hopefully there was an M. 3 times k, which is 3 to the second power, plus m, 6 times 6. Parentheses, exponents, multiplication or division, addition or subtraction. Any parentheses? No. Any exponents? Yes. So take care of the exponents. 3 times 3 to the second power is 3 times 3, which is 9, plus 6 times 6. Are there more exponents? No. Is there addition, subtraction? No, addition. Multiplication, division? Yes, you got 2 of them right here. Take care of those too. 3 times 9 is 27, plus 6 times 6 is 36. Now all you gotta do is add, and that gives you 63. This is 6 times 6 times 6, m, minus h. h is 4 times 4 times 4. So again, no parentheses this time, no exponents this time, but there's multiplication. So let's take care of this 3 and this 3. 6 times 6 is 36. And then times 6 again is 36, go 3, 18, 216. So this is 216. Minus 4 times 4 is 16. And then times 4, it's going to be 64. Now I can subtract. 6 minus 4 is 2, borrow, 11 minus 6 is 5, and that goes in 1, 5, 2. Okay? Oh my God, there's quite a lot. Okay, so we'll get to it and we'll finish. It's a multiplication problem. So we don't have to find the LCM or common denominator, but we do have to change this to an improper fraction. So times and plus 5 times 3 is 15, plus 1 is 16 over 5, times 4 over 7. I can't simplify anything, so I'm just going to multiply it. This is going to be 35. 4 times 16 is 64. Can we leave it like that? Yeah, but if we want to change it to a mixed number, we can also do that. So 35 goes to 64 how many times? So I'll take it over here. 35 goes to 64 one time. So if I put it over here, I can now subtract. 14 minus 5 is 9. 5 minus 3 is 29 left over. So 35 goes to 64 one time. 29 left over 35. Again, change this to an improper. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7 over 5, times 5 times 3 is 15, plus 2 is 17 over 5. Simplify anything? No. So let's just multiply. So that's 25. 17 plus times 17 is 119. 25 goes into 119 4 times is 19, but I'm going to show you. 25 goes into 1, no. Into 11, no. Into 119, yes, 4 times. 4 times 25 is 100. If I subtract, I'm going to get 19 left over. So it's going to go 4 times 19 left over 25. This one. Again, same thing. Please change it to an improper fraction. 1 over 7 divided by 8 times 2 is 16, plus 3 is 19 over 8. Change that, right, to a multiplication problem. 8 over 19. Nothing to simplify before we multiply? Nope. So 1 times 8 is 8. 7 times 9 is 3. I think it's 133. 7 times 19 is 133. Same thing here. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 5 over 2. Divided by 4 times 3 is 12, plus 1 is 13 over 4. Now I can make my changes. 5 over 2 times 4 over 13. I can simplify here. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. I can now multiply. 5 times 2 is 10. And 1 times 13 is 13. If you don't want to simplify, you can just simplify. If you don't want to simplify, you get... So let me write this down again. So let's say you're not comfortable simplifying before you multiply. You can just multiply across. 5 times 14 is 20. 2 times 13 is 26. Right? Can I divide top and bottom by a number? Yeah, I can divide this by 2. And I can divide this by 2. 20 divided by 2 is 10. 26 divided by 2 is 13. Notice you get the same answer. So whichever choice you want. Next one, it's an equilateral triangle. So hopefully you remember what equilateral means. Equilateral means a triangle where all the sides are congruent. They have the same measurement. So here's a sort of an equilateral triangle. Right? They all look the same. But this is 7m plus 5. This is 7m plus 5. And this is 7m plus 5. They're all the same because it's equilateral. So 7m plus 5 plus 7m plus 5 plus 7m plus 5. Yeah? Like terms, 7m plus 7m plus 7m. 7m plus 7m plus 7m. And then it's the plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. So all my like terms are together. Add these three. 7 plus 7 plus 7 is 21m. 5 plus 5 plus 5 is 15. So final answer, 21 plus 15. Combine the like terms. So basically what you've been doing, but less, circle. So 4w minus w are the same. Change colors. Plus 11 and minus 9. So let's put them next to each other. It's 4w minus w plus 11 minus 9, right? So all the like terms are together. 4w minus w, remember there's a 1 here, right? So don't forget, 4w minus 1w is 3w plus 11 minus 9 is just 2. That's your final answer. This one, 5b squared. Is the other, yes, there's another b squared over here. Let me change colors. So this one is plus a3 plus 2a3, and then 2b3 stands alone because there's nobody the same. So let's move things together. Like terms, 5b squared minus 2b squared plus 5a3 plus 2a3, and this guy over here, 3 minus 3b3, it's going to be by itself. I can combine these two, right, because they're the same. 5b2 minus 2b squared is 3b squared. Plus 5a3 plus 2a3 is 7a3, and minus 3b, third power. Okay, so now we're just translating. Product. Product means what? Product means multiplying. So I'm multiplying two things. Product of 8 and who? And 5 times a number. 5 times a number. Okay, so actually it's all multiplication. Quotient means division. Here's my division bar. Of a number. And what's the other part? 2 plus 5. Wow. Or I just could have written 7, right? I don't know why I did that. Sorry. 11 less than 3 times a number. Less than, right? So 3n minus 11. 7 more. Product is multiplying, so multiplying, what do I mean multiplying? N plus 2, right? Yeah. So just clean it up. 7 plus, instead of 2 times n, we write 2n, right? 2 should come first. It means same thing, right? Community property, right? If I change the factor, it's not going to change the sum. So instead of writing n2, write 2n. Oh boy. Now I think these ones are the little harder ones, right? So just get some room. All right, so this one, I have fractions and decimals. So whatever you're more comfortable with, I might do this via fractions. So let's do it via fraction. 3/8 is 3/8. 0.7 is 7 over 10, right? 1 over 4. 1 over 4. And then 0.25 is 25 over 100, which you can simplify. Okay, you can simplify 25 over 100. You don't have to work with a fraction that big. So what can we do here? I'm going to assume that, let's assume that you didn't simplify. Okay, what would be the LCM here? What's the LCM of 8, 10, 4, and 200? So 8 times 1 is 8, 16 times 2 times 3 times 4, and it's going to go on and on and on. 10, 20, 30, 40, on and on and on. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, on and on. 200 times 1, 200 times 2, 200 times 3, and on and on and on. So I'm going to show you that 200 would have been the LCM. Everything is going to be 200. How did 100 become 200? Times 2. So on top is times 2, which is 50. So this one is easy. 8. 8 times what is 200? It's times 25. So 3 times 25 is 75. 10 times what's 20? 10 times what's 20 is 20. 10 times 20 is 200. So on top is times 20. And that gives us 140. 4 times what's 200? It's times 50. So on the top is times 50. Right? So now I can add and subtract all the fractions, right? So it's going to be 75 plus 140. Let me just erase this. 75 plus 140. So 75 plus 140 which is going to be 5, 11. So you're going to have 215. And then you're going to do minus 50. 5, borrow. 11 minus 5 is 6. 165. And then 165 plus 50 again. It's going to go back to 215. So final answer is 215 over 200, which we can simplify, right? 200 goes into 215 one time. 15 left over 200. And again, we can simplify 15 over 200, divide 15 by 5, and you get 3, so it's 1. 15 divided by 5 is 3. 200 divided by 5 is going to be 40. Now this would be the simple answer. Okay. Now I'm going to show this one more time. Now, let's say you left this as 3 over 8 plus 7 over 10 minus 1 over 4. And this one is plus 25 over 100, right? 25 over 100. Let me just take that over here. I can simplify. I can divide it by 25. What's 25 divided by 25? 1. What's 100 divided by 25? 1/4. So actually, instead of writing 25 over 100, I could have just written plus 1/4. Now the LCM here is going to be a much smaller number. It's going to be 40. Yeah? So 8 times what is 40 is times 5, so on top is times 5. 10 times what's 40 is times 4, so on top is 7 times 4, which is 28. 4 times 10 is 40, so 10 on top. And 4 times 10 is 40 again, so 10 on top, right? So again, you get 40 at the bottom. 15 plus 28 is 43. And then minus 10 is 33. And then plus 10 is going back to 43. So 43 over here. 40 goes into 43 one time. 3 left over 40. So that, I think, would have been a little bit faster. Okay. Next one. Ooh, messy. So 31 over 10, I'm going to change that to a fraction. Minus 7 over 10, so that's nice. Plus 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1, 9 over 4, so I changed that to an improper fraction. Minus 0.1, which is 1 over 10. What's the LCM here? The LCM is 20. Right, if you look at times, 10, 20, 30, 40, etc. 4 is 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. So again, you could have used 40, and again, the smaller, if you use the smallest common multiple, then your fractions are going to be smaller. That's the only difference, but no, it doesn't hurt to use 40. Okay, any multiple of 10 and 4 would have been fine. So how did a 10 become a 20? Times 2, so it's 31 times 2 is 62. Again, it's times 2, so on top is times 2, which gives us 14. How did 4 become a 20? This one's a little bit different, times 20, so on top is times 20, which is 45. Times 2, so on top is times 2, so it's 2. So now we got all that. 62 minus 14, do one at a time. Borrow. 12 minus 4 is 8. 5 minus 1 is 48. So it's 48, right? 62 minus 14 is 48. Plus 45, 93. And then 93 minus 2 is 91. So it's 91 over 20. How many times can 20 go into 91? You can go 4 times, because 4 times 20 is 80. How many left over? 11 over 20. Okay. Divide. So if you're dividing this, I would say you're better off as a fraction. 9 over 10 divided by 15 over 100, right? Because the 5 is in the hundreds place. 9 over 10 times 100 over 15. Can we simplify? Oh yeah. So I'm going to do this without simplifying. So 9 times 100 is 900. 10 times 15 is 150. Okay, so we can simplify this now. Okay, 150 goes into 900, 150, 150, 300, 6 times. This should be 6, exactly 6, because 150 goes into 900 6 times, and there's no leftover. But if you chose to simplify before you multiply, what can we simplify? We can simplify 10 and 100. 10 divided by 10 is 1. 100 divided by 10 is 10. Anyone else I can simplify? I can simplify the 10 and 15 divided by 5. 10 divided by 5 is 2. 15 divided by 5 is 3. I can simplify the 3 with a 9 now. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. What do I have left over to multiply? On the top I have 3 times 2, which is 6. On the bottom I have 1 times 1, which is 1. It's 6 over 1. It's just 6. Preference is yours. Over here, 4 over 25. And we're going to divide that by what? 5 over, what's the decimal place here? Over 100. 4 over 25 times 100 over 5. And again, if you don't want to simplify now, you can simplify later. So 4 times 100 is, I'll write the answer here, 400. 25 times 5 is 125. This can definitely be simplified. 125 goes into 400 3 times. Is 25 left over 125. I can simplify that. 25 divided by 25 is 1. 125 divided by 25 is 5. So this is my final answer. So let's simplify here before we multiply, see if we get the same answer. So 25 divided by 25 is 1. 100 divided by 25 is, I don't know, 4. Can I simplify anything else? No. So 4 times 4 is 16. 1 times 5 is 5. How many times can 5 go into 16? 3 times. 1 left over 5. So again, that 5 goes 16 is 3 times. Subtract. 1 left over. So 3 left over 1 over 5. I have no idea what this was. Oh my god. I don't know if that was a plus or a minus. Uh-oh. Let's skip that one. Let's just do this one. That could have been a minus. Oh my god, I don't know what it was. Okay, so let's do the one on the right. So let's add this. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1. So you got 7 over 3 plus 11 over 12 divided by 2.3 or 23 over 10, right? Because the 3 is in the tens place and we write 23 on top. Let's take care of these two things first. The LCM is 12, right? So 11 over 12 is already, a 12 is a denominator, so the 3 became a 12 times 4. So the top times 4, 7 times 4 is 28, divided by 23 over 10. We can add these two now, right? Because the same denominator, so 12 and 28 plus 11 is 39. Divided by 23 over 10, which we are going to change to multiplication problem. 39 over 10 times 10 over 23. We can definitely simplify. The tens, I can divide 10 divided by 10 is 1. 10 divided by 10 is 1, right? Now I can multiply. 39 times 1 is 39. And 1 times 23 is 23. So how many times can 23 go into 39? 1 time. 16 left over 23. Move on. Oh yeah, 2 more problems. Okay. So again, it's a fraction and a, decimal. If you can change this to a decimal, it'd be so much easier, but that's up to you. 7 over 8, so let me just do that. 7 divided by 8. 8 going to 7? No, add a 0, not decimal. 8 going to 70? Yes. 8 times 64. 70 minus 64 is 6. I'd bring another 0 down. 8 goes to 67 times, which is 56. 60 minus 56 is 4 left over. Bring another 0. And then it goes into 45 times, so that ends up nicely. So I can change this problem to 0.35 plus 2, and 7/8 I can change that, so it's going to be 2.875. Now it's just a decimal plus a decimal. And 2.875 plus 0.35. I'll put this as a placeholder. 5, 12, 12 again, 3.225. That would have been your answer if you change everything to a decimal. Okay, so there are advantages of doing this. Now, if you didn't, then we can change this 35 over 100. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 7 is 23 over 8, right? And we're going to have to find a common denominator between 100 and 8. Oh my god. So I'm going to say is that 400? Yeah, it's going to be 400. 100 times 4 is 400, so times 4 on top, which is going to be 140. 8 times 50, and times 50 on top. Yikes. 23 times 50. Is it really 50? Yeah. 0, 15, 1150. So now the bottoms are the same, that's 400, right? So 1,150 plus 140 is 1,290. So 400 goes into this 3 times, 90 left over 400. And if you simplify that one more time, it's going to be 3, 9 over 40. I can divide 90 divided by 10, and this divided by 10, and I get this as my final answer. So you have choices as to which way you want to do it. 4.75, and again, I will change 4.75 plus 1 and 5 over 25. If I change that to a decimal, so this is what I would have to do. So it's 1 over 25 right now, right? So if I make this into 100, which makes life much easier, right? How do 25 becomes 100? Times 4, times 4 over here. So it's 120 over 100, which means this is the same thing as 1.2, right? So if I add 4.75 plus 1.2, 5, 7 and 2 is 9, and I get 5, the answer is 5.95. Much easier if you change it to a decimal. But what if, just what if, you don't remember? So let's change that to a decimal. 475 over 5 is in the hundreds place, right? Plus 25 times 1 is 25, plus 5 is 30 over 25. Find the common denominator, which is going to be 100. This one doesn't change. How did 25 become 100? Times 4. Times 4 here is 120. We can add now, and that becomes 595. How many times can 100 go into 595? 5 times. How many left over? 95 over 100. See how this and this are exactly the same. Well, that's it. Please study. Good luck tomorrow.